because at the moment you just get too tunnel vision of what's going on with your problems, and you get too tunnel vision on the emotions that goes through your head, because at the moment you just get too tunnel vision of what's going on with your problems, and you get too tunnel vision on the emotions that goes through your head. Welcome to episode 7 of Within the Frame podcast. This is your host, Luis, and wow, it is episode 7. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you think about it, my first podcast episode was back in July 12th. And if I was being consistent on every Monday, today would have been the 10th episode. And that's quite mind blowing, if you think about it. And yeah, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying doing these podcasts. Sometimes I feel like I don't know what I want to talk about. Sometimes I feel like there's things that I do want to talk about, but I don't think I'm ready to talk about them. Like most of them, I believe stress was one of them last episode when I was talking about stress. I felt like that's a topic that I wanted to talk about ever since episode 2 or 3, but I don't think I was ready for it. But now, yeah, that's what I go about. And I remember back way before when I wanted to start the podcast, I told myself like I really want a podcast, but I feel like I don't have like an interesting life, or I don't think I'm interesting enough to have a podcast. But I always have like a lot to say, and I always want to, I guess, like talk about things. Um, and yeah, it's just yeah. Yeah. Even my girlfriend, like we talk, and she told me, hey, like you should do that for an episode or something, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I want to do that, but I mean, yeah, so far, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys are really enjoying it. Except last episode, I felt like you could feel the energy and the vibes by through watching the video or listening to it, and I'm not even sure if you guys were able to sit through the whole episode. I mean, I don't blame you guys if you couldn't sit through the episode. It was like 40 minutes long, and I guess I had like so much to say in a way. Um, and I felt like I was just going all over the place, and there was no direction on what I wanted to talk about. And I guess like all of that stress is kind of over, and I want to make this like a part 2, a continuation of last week episode. And I guess I can talk about since last week I was talking about the, I guess, like the danger of not being able to express stress, or not being able to I guess handle that certain emotion, that certain physical, um I wouldn't necessarily call it physical pain, but it's just like, because for me, like I mentioned before last week's episode, for me I just get really hot, and like my heart starts racing. So that's what I think of it when I say like stress can also be physical, but as well, it can be a lot mentally. And yeah, so I guess I kind of did talked about that last week. I mean, if you guys want to watch that, I'll link it somewhere in the video. I'm pretty sure it's like right here. There's gonna be like a little bubble thing popping up. Um, but yeah, so right now I guess I could talk about during stress, and I guess what happens during stress, or the aftermath of stress. And it might not make sense to all of you guys, but it's it's better if you guys kind of hear it out from a, like, I guess, a third person view, and at a different perspective of as well. Just because I know for me, when I was stressed, my girlfriend, she tried to help me, I guess, like comfort me with with the stuff that I was dealing with. But in the process, I ended up pushing her away and kind of like I was about to say like misleading her, but not really. I was pushing her away and I guess like mm, what's the other word? I was just pushing her away too much and wasn't kind of like considering her, or wasn't yeah, I guess like considering her, like she was there, considering uh like she went out of her way being here there for me, being here for me. and and for me, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, last episode, but for me, when I get stressed, I prefer, I have a tendency of isolating myself and not talk to no one, and if I do end up talking, it's just kind of vague and kind of like I just have the tendency of just like not giving enough detail, not being alone, pushing people away, isolating myself, and yeah, I mean, I know most of you guys can part relay. I might be the only one who does it. I may not be the only one who does it, but if you are one of those people that pretty much does the same thing that I do, um, you have to also consider the people around you that are willing kind of to help you in a way, and they're going out of their way to help you, comfort you, and to help you. I felt like I said that twice, but they're just there for you because I know from my girlfriend, I I guess like at the moment I didn't want to be a stress to her just because she has so much going on her plate. She's going to school, she's working, and she also has like side projects going on, and I just didn't want to stress her out because she tells me how stressful managing those three things can get, and then adding my stress on top of it wouldn't even help her at all. But um yeah, just the one thing I kind of didn't realize is that she went out of her way to put all those things aside just so she could be there for me. And I also want you guys to also realize that if you have anyone that does that for you, just to appreciate that they kind of set everything aside just so they can help you and make you feel better. And yeah, that's the one thing I kind of failed at the moment, just because there was so much going on in my head, and I just wanted to be alone. And I was just like, man, like I really don't care at this point and stuff like that. Like we just start thinking things that we just get consumed by that emotion just because it's just so much for us to handle. And yeah, it like there's always a time and place to, I guess, to feel stress, but you also have to be considerate for the people that are actually there for you and that care for you, and when they're reaching out, when they're lending you a hand to help you, you should never like fight back in a way. You should never I guess like close yourself and be too I guess don't be afraid to be too vulnerable to talk about things, and don't be scared of talking about how you're feeling and stuff like that, especially like I mentioned before with men. It's just really hard for us to do such things. I mean, for me it is. It could be for you. It's probably super easy for you to talk about it, which applaud you, and actually just keep doing that because it will make your life a lot easier, and it will make others as well a lot easier, so they can be able to help you and I guess get to the solution ASAP. And yeah, um, that's the one thing I kind of failed at realizing at the moment, and I guess that's also one thing that I have to work on, and I don't know if you guys are also, I guess, like dealing the same thing that I'm dealing. You also have to work on that, and yeah, just like appreciate, well, just appreciate the person, the people, your family, your friends that are willing to set everything aside just so they can help you, and don't be afraid for thanking them. I mean, they're gonna tell you like, don't thank me because they did it out of their kindness of their heart, but just don't be afraid of yeah, just to talk and to open up. Like I said, it will make it a lot easier for them and a lot easier for you, especially because then I guess between the two you can find a solution and probably find the problem to it too, and obviously find a solution to it. um but yeah, that's the one thing that I feel like I had to make a I guess like a part two to it, just because like I said, I felt like oh my god, I was going through it all. and and yeah, so because I felt like you guys might have not enjoyed watching it, maybe it probably was too much to handle in one video. So yeah, like I said, I have it linked if you want to watch it. But this is just a part two of what is of how to deal with stress, and I guess like the aftermath of stress, what happens after you kind of got over it, because at the moment you just get too tunnel vision of what's going on with your problems, and you get too tunnel vision on the emotions that goes through your head. And yeah, like I said, you're never alone. You should never be afraid of talking about those things. And that's all I have to say. I know this episode is not that long. It's really short. Before I sign off, I also have one thing that I want to mention. Um, Towards the end of October or the beginning of November, I will finish. I will take a break from podcasting, and that will be the pretty much around that time will be the season finale of the podcast. And yeah, it'll be the season finale until I am planning on coming back February 22. And the reason why for such a long break, just because the holidays are coming, it's the end of the year. And for me as a technician, I'm pretty sure the dealership is going to have some like Black Friday sales, some Christmas sales, and just some sales just to to sell cars or to sell services and stuff like that. So like people like me can get money and the dealership can profit and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be working my ass off for for that, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get home really tired, just because who knows, they might have some deals, maybe not, but that's gonna be the reason why I'll be taking a long break and come back on February of 2022 to start season 2 of this podcast. And the other reason is because I also have a trip coming up in December. It's not a long trip, but I do want to focus on that and have everything prepared for that trip as well, just because I don't want the whole trip to go to disaster and stuff like that. So I also I just want to focus on that and just not get too not focus too much on podcasting, just for me to enjoy the moment. And yeah, that's all I have to say. And maybe I might talk about my trip on the next season. But yeah, that's all I have to say. And thank you for watching. Thank you for, I guess, listening to this really short podcast. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this to your friend, to your roommates. I know school started, so definitely share it with your professors, to your principal, to your teachers, to your classmates. And who knows, maybe someone might get something out of this, because like I said, this podcast is about self-help. It's about uh living life and learning. I talk about my personal experience, and you guys could probably learn from my mistakes, from my personal experience, or you guys can, I guess, in a way, avoid the things that I've done. Same thing as I just said, just like learn from it. But this podcast is about living and learning, and me talking about my personal experience, because I'm no professional, but we all experience a lot of things, and sometimes we don't realize that a lot of people experience the same thing as you do. And that's the reason why I have this podcast. And yeah, thank you, and see you until next time. Bye.